This is Rob Tebbutt for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Delighted, as always, to be joined by former WBO heavyweight champion of the world, Lupesoliai, Laauli-a-le-Malietoa, Joseph Parker. We're here in Morecambe.
Yes, we are.
Instead of Las Vegas. How are you, mate? Nice to see you.
I'm very good. Good to see you.
Changing scenery from Las Vegas to Morecambe. How are you?
Very different. As you know, Vegas is a very hot place, and we had a good setup there. And now this is a totally new setup, new environment, new training sort of schedule. I'm making the most of it, enjoying every day, staying happy. Happy fighter is a dangerous fighter.
You look happy. You look very well. You've brought the weather with you as well. You seem to always be able to catch a suntan no matter where you are in the world.
That's what we do.
Talk to me a little bit about the change in trainer. Obviously, you mentioned it there. With Kevin Barry for an awful long time.
Yeah.
Much closer than boxer-trainer relationship.
Yeah.
I was surprised, as many people were, to see you split. Talk to me about it. What happened?
After the fight with Junior Farr, it was always good to get the win, but it wasn't the best performance. And I don't know. I just felt like I needed something new and a fresh start. You know, when you sort of I was with the same trainer for 7 or 8 years, and I felt like everything was still the same. I wasn't really picking up on any new things, and I made the decision. Probably it was a hard decision to make, but I made the decision with the support of my team to try something else.
Was it something that you mentioned the Junior Farr performance, not being happy with that? Was it something that had kind of crossed your mind before then, or was that kind of?
It was. I was just like, I was like, should I not? You know what I mean? And just sort of mixed emotions on, because obviously it was very hard because it's, I've been staying in Vegas for a long time with his family, so they made it really hard. But for me, it's probably the best decision I made in boxing, in terms of my boxing career.
Obviously, don't want to spend too much time talking about the past and talk about the future, but what was that conversation like with yourself and Kev?
Yeah, I saw him before he flew out of New Zealand, and he was very understanding. And he said to me he's always going to support me in what I do in boxing. So it was, when he left, and then I had to figure out what I was going to do next.
And what you did next was join this man sat behind me, Andy Lee. Talk to us about the process of finding Andy Lee as a trainer.
After the split with Kevin, and when he left, there was a fight sort of looming, with May 1 with Chisora, and I had no camp, had no trainer, had no setup. So I thought to myself, it would be good to get Tyson's views on, who I should train with, or who he recommends as a good trainer. So I gave him a call, and he said to me that, the top 3 trainers, Andy was one of them. And so as soon as he said that, I was, we set up a Zoom call. I think we had about 3 or 4 calls, and then like 6 days later, I was flying to Ireland for the first time, obviously to meet Andy and then to jail, and then get to work, because there was a fight sort of locked in already.
You mentioned kind of speaking to Tyson. We know that you're very close, but that close that you would kind of seek his advice for something that's so pivotal in your career. Yeah,
but we've been very close. We've never trained together. I've been in camp to see him spar. We've been out with him a few times, but when he gave that advice, I trusted his advice, and I just thought to myself, any other plans or any other thoughts I had of any other training or any other camp was out the window, and I was going to train with Andy if he was available.
After making that introduction, you mentioned those Zoom calls, without obviously giving too much away ahead of May the 1st. What was it that Andy kind of said to you that appealed to you, that made you make the move?
It was just that if he was available. If it was available, I was just going to come and train with him. And there's a difference. The thing that Tyson said to me that stood out, that a lot of people can be a pad holder, but not a lot of people can be a teacher in boxing. And he said to me that's a big difference in a lot of trainers.
What do you feel that you needed to work on? You mentioned not being happy with the Junior Farr performance. What were you not happy about, and what are you looking to improve? I
don't know, maybe I was looking for the knockout too much. I was throwing a lot of punches with bad intentions, and just draining instead of setting it up, instead of trying different things. I was just doing the same thing all the time. And then with the move here and just learning off Andy, I feel like it's changed a few things in my thinking, and also my focus. And just, it's like, sort of the basics again. I've sort of lost a lot of the basics, and just, correcting a few things here and there, which I'm feeling it's all falling into place.
You said something interesting to me when I turned up today. You said that it felt like when you'd first turned over, when you didn't know anybody, and kind of taking you right back to the roots. Just explain that.
Yeah, when you're, when I first moved over to Kevin in Vegas, I was very excited. It's all this new place and a new sort of training team, new camp. And then got to the point where I wasn't excited to go back to Vegas anymore. You know, I wasn't excited to go back there and train, and you know, just I mean, it's no one else's. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that I wasn't excited. And I guess with the you know, flying over here, meeting Andy for the first time, I wasn't sure what camp was going to look like. I wasn't sure where I was going to stay, whether it was going to be in a shed or, you know what I mean? I don't know. And then I just didn't know what kind of food was here, because I've never had a training camp here. And all of that excited me, you know. All of that made me feel like, damn, I want to, it just gave me this, I don't know. I felt like my passion for boxing was there, but it wasn't strong. But now it's, you know, it's gone a lot stronger.
Nice like family dynamic there as well. We've got Paddy and Jay, and obviously Tyson, obviously not here at the minute, but nice little family environment for you to go into as well, similar to what you had kind of in Vegas.
It's a great environment. I think with Vegas there was that sort of family and you know, training partners, but a lot of it was by myself. Whereas here, you know, you have a lot of the fighters doing the same thing, all have the same sort of goals and passion of being the best in the world. And then everyone just pushing everyone, you know, everyone just looking around the gym and seeing everyone work hard. You're just like, okay, you know, it's a great team environment to be in, great energy, and it's very positive.
Now, one of the familiar faces that you did bring with you is your brother John. I don't see him around the gym here, but he's never too far away from you. That must be a great benefit and a great help of having your brother. I know you're very close. Very close
to my brother John, and I'm, you know, thankful, because he also has a family himself. He's got his missus and his daughter back home, so for him to, you know, take time out to be here with me, I'm very blessed to have a loving brother like John. And we're very close, so it's good to, he's here with my friend Kerry. And it's, not everyone can make it up here because of COVID. My parents will be missing the fight for the first time. David might not be up, he's having a baby soon. So it's totally new, you know, the whole thing, not being able to have everyone here.
Yeah, you mentioned David there, David Higgins, of course, your, how do we put it, eccentric, former promoter, now manager. When can we expect to see him? Is he going to be over for the fight?
He's I think he's deciding whether he's going to make it or not. He's got a baby on the way, and I think he wants to be there for his missus and for the birth of his daughter.
Was it difficult for you to leave the family again? Be careful, because she might watch it.
No, listen, I really miss my family, but I'm happy. And my wife backs me and supports me and wants me to do good things in boxing, and will give it my best. And she, you know, she's back home with our kids, and she's doing a great job with them, with our three beautiful girls. But if I was going back to Vegas, I would be sitting in my room wishing I was home. Like you know, I do wish I was there with them and hanging out and all that. But I'm so happy to be here. I'm happy and excited to be here.
So Derek Chisora. Obviously we were supposed to see this fight quite a while ago. Quite a lot's happened since then. Your spider bite and various other bits and pieces. New camp for both of you. He's now with Buddy McGirt. Why is this fight going to be different now, if at all different, compared to when it was originally supposed to happen?
This fight is different because no one's going to get sick before the fight. Like, the fight's locked in. You know, we had the fight locked in 2019, and then the doctor pulled me out of the fight because of health issues, and then now we got it locked in again, and I'm excited to be in there and fight him. You know, he's a very experienced fighter. I mean, we know, a lot of people know it's not really a secret that he's going to come in there and chase you down and throw big bombs and put on the pressure. And that's my job and Andy's job, is to come up with a good plan, and if I execute it well, it should be a good night.
You mentioned that kind of style that he has. He has his own style, very aggressive, come-forward fighter. We've spoken in the past, numerous occasions, about the Dillian Whyte fight in particular as kind of a fight where maybe you were kind of manhandled a little bit in there and kind of rough-housed and roughed up. You've surely got to expect the same thing on May the 1st.
Yeah, I mean, I've lifted, you know, Andy's gotten us the sparring partners that we need to, you know, to get the work that we need from them, you know, similar to Chisora and what he's going to bring, and we've been doing everything we can to prepare for what he's going to bring, whether he's going to, you know, put under pressure, rough it up, we're going to be prepared for everything.
What did you make of his performance against Alexander Usyk?
Good performance. He was doing very well in that fight, you know, and he never gave up until, you know, all the way until the end. So we know that he's still got a lot to give.
Now, you mentioned Tyson Fury. Obviously, he's not here at the minute. He's just gone over to Las Vegas. Ironically, you've swapped places. Fury in Vegas, you in Morecambe. But how beneficial has it been to have somebody that you're so close with, and obviously at the top of his game as well, around the gym?
Yeah, we started our camp in Ireland, and everything was going well. But with the sparring partners, Andy felt it was better to be here, accessible for the sparring partners, but then also just to be around Tyson and the energy that he has. it's like he lifts everyone, he lifts everyone's energy, and he's very positive, and he works very hard. So it was good for us to see how he works. I've never seen him in training camp before. I only see him sparring, I see him out, restaurants and just having a good time. But I've never seen him in the gym putting in the work, and he's a beast.
We're obviously waiting for an announcement of will he or won't he with Anthony Joshua, somebody that you know well. Of course, you boxed Anthony Joshua. Excited for that fight?
Yeah.
I'm going to turn the cameras off for a second.
I am very excited for the fight. Everyone wants to see the fight, and so everyone's hoping and praying that they can lock it in, because it's going to be one of the biggest fights, or it is the biggest fight in in our generation, in this era.
Mutual opponents. Sorry, he's boxed Derek Chisora a couple of times. You've boxed Anthony Joshua, exchanging a few tips either way.
Vegas, here and our opponents. Yeah, he's given a bit of advice, with his experience of fighting Chisora. But ultimately, he's left it to Andy and I to, come up with our plan and what we're doing for the fight.
Final question from me, really. You kind of become a household name over in the UK. This is your third pay-per-view. What does it mean to headline another pay-per-view over here? You've got a massive British fan base, more so than most British fighters.
Oh, it's great to be here. Like I said, I'm buzzing to be here. I'm enjoying every single day, putting in the work, and it's great to have the support of the British people. When we're going around and people are like, "Hey, all the best," it's just it doesn't feel like I'm in a strange place. I'm not saying you guys are in a strange place, but it doesn't feel like I'm in a random place.
I know.
It feels like home.
That's good. Well, we're happy to have you, adopt you as one of our own. Final message to fans who will be tuning in on May the 1st. You're usually good at these. You're usually good at cutting the promos. We've seen all the work you've done with Kerry over lockdown, to expecting a good WWE style promo. Tell that camera how it ends on May the 1st, Joseph Parker versus Derek Chisora.
May the 1st. Tune in. Great fight. Amen. Tune in for a great fight, May 1. It's going to be exciting. A lot of punches thrown. And I'm going to land a clean shot on Derek's face.
You're supposed to say you're going to knock him out.
And if I knock him out, I knock him out.
There we go. Joseph Parker, always a real pleasure catching up with you. Nice to see you looking so well. Best of luck ahead of May the 1st, and I'm sure I'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you.